Good morning. Thank you, Reverend Gail, for the crystal balls. And my name is Juliet. Is it too loud? Okay, that's much better. Okay. And my name is Juliet, and it's my honor to welcome all of you to our Sunday celebrations at the Center for Spiritual Living, Red Deer. To start us off, I'd like to ask Reverend Gail to do a opening treatment.
Well, as Juliet said, I'm Reverend Gail McEwen, and I've been coming to the center for I don't know how many years now, but I'm telling you, it totally changed my life 100%, and I will never, ever forget the first day I entered here. It wasn't in this building, but it was in another building. But Juliet's been here just about as long, or I've been here just about as long as Juliet, and or longer, and this makes me cry. I just can't say how it changed my life. So let's just take a breath and acknowledge this day. Acknowledge that we are truly a child of God. And as we go through our day, we know that every breath that we take is God. Every wind that we feel, every moment of life is truly God. We are one with God, one with Spirit, one with all that is. I give thanks for the life that I have had. I give thanks for this center. I know that God is I am. Love and life go together, so as we go through the days and we go through our moments, we know that every moment is not always full of love, but we can make it full of love, as we know that God, or Creator, whatever we want to call it, is always turning that love crank so that we can become the true love force in this world. So as we go together, let us make the world a better place to live in. Let us give love. Let us show kindness. Let us be who we are. Let us be the kind of person that God is and always will be, and we always are. So I give thanks for all that I have, all that I am, all that will be, all that is, and I give thanks for my health. I give thanks for all the people in this room. I give thanks for who I am. I know that life is good, God is good, and so it is. Thank you. No, I can help myself.
Yeah,
I can walk better now.
Watch the step.
I will.
Thank you, Gail. I had to watch. I had to be. Once a mother, always a mother, right? So get us started for our congregational songs. I don't have a list, but I know somebody's going to tell me.
We're going to start with God and Me Can Do Anything, and it's on page 18. That's by Nancy Abercrombie. It was inspired by Louise Hay, by the way, this song. You can stand.
Today I choose abundance and universal good. Everything unfolds for me exactly as it should. God in me can do anything, myself I know not how. God in me can do anything, and I accept it now. Today I choose forgiveness and let my judgment go. The Christ in me loves everything and everyone I know.
for these two here. I am so blessed by Karen Drucker. Oh, sorry, it's page 34.
I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed.
Here I was expecting another one. Okay, we have our Growing Children's Spirits word. As usual, we're the children today. And I think there is a child in every single one of us. At least I hope you do, because I sure do. Some days I am very much ready to enjoy the world. You're my child today. All right. Well, our word for today is reliability. And what do you think it means? That sounds perfect. That's exactly what they're selling. And our affirmation for today is, I always give my best. So today let's say, I always give my best. Thank you. You may go and enjoy your fun day. Hang on. Okay? There we go. Oh, I'm so glad I'm not the other one, the only one getting achy. New class starting on November 15, my birthday. Oh. The 4 agreements. Please pre-register by contacting Joanne, jboric@telus.net. If anybody wants the email address, we can give it to you after the service. We also have dinner and a movie coming up in November, so keep your ears and eyes open. I'm sure she's going to have that date pretty soon. Now, there's no bingo on here, but I know there's a bingo coming. And our volunteer lady that was taking care of it all summer is a snowbird. So she's run off, and we need some help. And we need someone to make phone calls, send emails, and a few additional people to help at the bingo itself would be really appreciated. So you can either call the center or send us an email or give me a call. And my number is 403-358-0098. So we do need calls. And let me see, what else do we have today? I think that's it for announcements. So, Reverend Gail did an opening treatment. So, let's do the opening affirmation. Okay? Right now, I make the choice to enter into a greater experience of life. I open myself to a flow of all good from the infinite source, health, abundance, and loving relationships. Enrich my life, and I enrich my world simply by living the truth of my own divinity. I am one with God, and so it is. Before I introduce Reverend Valentine, I'm going to do a little blurb here. I've been listening to a lot of stuff on YouTube. A lot of spiritual teachers, they bring out a lot of stuff. And I have noticed that a lot of them finish their little spiel with, and so it is. And so I've been asking myself, I wonder if they have, say, CSL courses behind them. They've definitely been thinking along the same lines as we have. So although we are a small group, I think we affect a lot of people. And it is going basically all over the world. So let's keep our thumbs up, and it's coming. It's coming. We're creating a little bit of a ripple effect. So now it is my honor to introduce Reverend Valentine, whose talk title is Heart Math. And I think that should be interesting. Do you have the mic?
Yep, I think so. Yeah, they can hear me.
Okay, I'm going to shut this down.
Thank you. Thank you, Juliet, for doing all that. And thank you, the people who play the music and come early and practice. And ironically enough, even though you weren't too sure what I was talking about, your songs totally fit. It's amazing how the universe works, absolutely amazing. So I'd like to thank everyone for being here. This month we've been talking about prosperity, but I would like to talk on the idea of heart math as prosperity. Because when you use arithmetic, there's only 4 parts to arithmetic: adding, subtracting, dividing, and multiplying. It truly can increase your prosperity. So it'll give you a greater understanding on how life really works. Because everything in the universe is tied to arithmetic, to math. That is the order of the universe. Everything we look at is a combination of numbers and shapes and sizes. And those numbers come together to form something. There is no other option. So math really is the order of the universe. So when we can understand this and shift our focal point from our rational thinker, and our rational thinker is the part of us that thinks it knows everything. But that part of us is limited to what we see and understand and what's there. Just think, at one time there were no airplanes, and nobody believed that airplanes could come. That was their rational thought. And until Bannister ran the 4-minute mile, nobody believed that anybody could go that fast. But once he did it, within 6 weeks, 10 other people did it. So rational thinking is very limited because it's to what we believe. So I would like to take us into that concept of the heart math. And the heart math is the intuitive knower. That is our heart and soul. It's our heart and soul. And it feels what there really is. There's the difference. The rational thinker thinks, and the other part feels. And when you feel, you can shift your understanding. You can shift your understanding and move it from lack to abundant living. That's what God's math is all about. It's heart math driven by soul wisdom. Heart math is grounded in love. Soul wisdom is grounded in faith. These two are the highest vibrations on our planet. There is no other higher vibrations. When we can take our vibrations up to this level, we increase our prosperity and live a more abundant life. When we vibrate at that level, all things are possible to us because we are coming from a place of love and faith. And there is no greater thing. Love and faith can absolutely move mountains and create whatever we desire. We live in a bountiful universe. All that we could possibly want, need, or desire is already in form, or we can bring it into form by our understanding. We have been told it is God's good pleasure to give us the kingdom. We live in a friendly universe that is designed to support us. We are a direct descendant of infinite source, and that infinite source is all good. We intuitively feel this. There is a place inside of us where this truth is alive and it's well, and this place is our divine nature. It is the source of our longing to experience a life of love, of joy, of health, of fulfillment and prosperity. That's what all of us can have when we realize that our divine nature is whole, perfect, and complete. We start letting go of discontent, lack, and limitations. So let's see how this heart math works. Let's start with subtraction. Most of us think that when we subtract something from our life, we have less. But that's not how it works. When we use heart math and soul's wisdom, because in order for us to receive more, we need to create a vacuum or a space in our life to allow more good to come into our life. I remember my grandson, he's 18, he turned 18 last night. We had a great big party for him. But he was about 7 or 8. Him and I were talking about math and subtraction and all that kind of stuff. And I was saying, when you have to subtract some stuff out of your life, out of your toys, because he was telling his mom he needed more toys. I want more toys. And his mom would say, well, your room is full of toys. You got toys all over the place. And so I said to him, well, if you take some of your toys away and give them to somebody else or something else, your mom will replace those toys with new toys. So he thought about it and he said, okay, you think you're right? And I go, I know I'm right. So he put his toys in a box and he took them over to a friend's house. And then he did get some new toys. But you see, already he had figured out how to get around the rules, because he took them to his friend's house so he could play with them. Well, how do we bend those rules? Because when we bend the rules, we're never successful for long. Because his mom found out what he did, and she said, you got to take some more toys and give them to somebody else that you can't play with them later. So that's how subtraction works. Nature dislikes a vacuum. It always rushes in with new growth to fill that empty space. And you see that in your garden where the weeds come up. Even the weeds come up in the sidewalk. So you know nature doesn't like a vacuum. And neither do we like a vacuum. So that's how it works. When we try to get rid of the weeds in our garden, we get rid of the weeds to make room for something that we're going to grow that we can harvest later. And it's the same for us. Our thoughts are the seeds that occupy space in our mind. And these seeds are our ideas, our beliefs, and our opinions. Those are the things that occupy your mind. And you have created those ideas, thoughts, and opinions by things you've read, heard, seen, somebody has told you. And when we restrict our thoughts with limited thinking, we restrict the flow of our greater good. So what are some of your limited thoughts? Just think for a minute. What's a limiting thought that you have? I used to have a thought all the time that I wasn't good enough. And I was told I wasn't good enough. And it took me a long time to get rid of that thought. How about it when you say to your kids, oh, you just can't do anything right? They carry that thought. What about it when you think there's never enough? Do you have that thought? Or that money is the root of all evil. I've heard people say that. But you see, they've missed part of that. It's not that money is the root of all evil. There's 2 little words in front of that. The love of money is the root of all evil. And most of the people have forgotten that. What about when somebody does you wrong? Do you carry that grudge inside of you? And you feel that you can't forgive them? Or are you judgmental about something? So what are those limiting thoughts that you have in your mind? See, we cannot do better until we have better thoughts. If our mind is cluttered up with old, unforgiving, limiting, resentful, judgmental thoughts, those thoughts stop us from receiving things and moving forward into a greater experience of abundance and prosperity. So did you think of some of those thoughts in your mind? Well, you know what? If you have some of those thoughts, you need to subtract those thoughts and ideas from your mind. A mental house cleaning is necessary for you to create room to have a greater experience of good in your life. Do a total mental inventory and subtract what does not serve you for your highest good. In doing so, you make room for better things to show up in your life. Not only is it necessary for us to do a mental releasing, often we are required to do a physical releasing too. Release anything in your life that does not serve you or honor your spirit. Release and let go of all the limiting negative beliefs that you have about prosperity. Maybe you have limiting beliefs about your relationships, about your workplace, even about your self-worth. If so, use the subtracting concept of heart math and move into a life of greater prosperity. Take a moment to release some negative thoughts. So if you have any, just think of something right now, and I'd like to do a treatment on it. So whether you think it about the economy, your work, your friends, your health, just know that all thought is creative. Whatever thought I hold in mind becomes a concrete idea in my life. Therefore, in this moment, I choose to release some thought that I have that limits me from having the life that I want. Whether it is a thought of misunderstanding, a thought of not being accepting, a thought of not forgiving. Whatever thought I carry, I make a choice in this moment and in this time to find a place in my heart to release that thought. And as I release that thought, I accept the attitude and the desire to have greater prosperity in my life. And so it is. Now, the next mathematical concept that I want to talk about is division. You know, that dividing things that you did when you were a kid. This is sometimes one of the hardest concepts for us to accept and to follow. Because when we divide something, and when we keep a portion for ourselves and give away something, we always feel, or a lot of us feel, that we have less. But when we do this, in reality, we are telling the universe that we trust and have faith in the concept of giving and receiving. That's why it's so important to give something away. When we give something away, we believe in the abundance in the universe rather than scarcity. When we give things away of our time, talent, and treasure, we believe that there's always enough. We come out of that idea of scarcity. You see, scarcity is a trance in our life. And some of us live in that trance. It says that there just isn't enough for me. So I stop giving. And when we stop giving, we create a bigger problem. Because when we stop giving, we stop receiving. The Bible tells us over and over that we are not meant to live in scarcity, but rather we are to live in abundance and prosperity. We are told, ask, believing, and ye shall receive. It is the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. It also states, I have come so that you might have life and have it abundantly. So if we want to truly prosper, we need to trust the divine flow that flows through our life. And how we do that is to let go of some of our material things or some of our finances. We need to embrace the law of division. Dividing our good and giving 10% away is like tithing. And now you're thinking, oh my God, she's going to talk about tithing. Well, you see, tithing is part of our life. Not because God needs us to do that. By putting God first in our finances, we acknowledge that God is our source. That's how we develop an abundance consciousness. We have greater prosperity in our life. But sometimes we question the concept of giving 10% away. We may say, isn't it irresponsible for me to give 10% away when I basically can't pay my bills or feed my family? But what I want you to see and understand is if you have those thoughts of lack and limitation and fear, that's what you're thinking, and that's what you are creating. And that's a self-fulfilling concept of scarcity and lack. I'd like to think that we can put ourselves in a place of knowing and trusting that I have enough that I can give. That's how we bring the law of scarcity and eliminate it out of our life and create prosperity in our life. We need to trust in the promise of all promises that have been given to us. As we give, so shall we receive. If you truly want to see this principle action, decide that you will make tithing a habit. Give some percentage of your resources or your time or your talent or your treasure. Start with 1%. Get in the habit of giving. And next month give 2, or 2 months later give 2. Get to a place of 10% sometime in your life. Because it's like the magic number. You may not realize it, but it is. You see, everything in life, like I said, is a concept of mathematics. Water boils at 2012. It doesn't boil before that. We have to get to that level for water to boil. For you to say to the universe, I trust that I will be given everything I need, you have to create the concept of your mind of giving, of being an abundant giver. We have to get to a place of believing that there is always enough. And that's something that goes on your mind. Tithing triggers immense abundance for us because we are inviting the source of abundance into your life. I want to share something with you. Like, it's probably 45 years ago. I used to sew an awful lot to make extra money for my family, my home, whatever. I didn't work outside of the home. So for me, it was easier to sew, and I used to sew mostly dancing costumes for kids and things like that. But anyways, I'd probably make $500 a month doing that. And it took a lot of work because they're so detailed and lots of glitz on stuff like that. And I had read a book by Catherine Ponders through that time, and it said, you have to tithe. You have to tithe. So what I did is I started tithing of that $500 or $400 that I used to make. Within 6 months, my sewing increased that I was making $1,000 a day. I'm telling you the honest to God truth. What had happened is I started making boat tops. And I would charge the people who brought their boat, and I would create their boat top, and I charged them $1,000 a day. I went from $500 a week or a month to $1,000 a day. And when I first started doing this, I'd probably make 10 boat tops a month because I thought, holy cow, you're making piles of money. But then I got lazy and decided I don't want to make as many boat tops. But tithing changed the concept. I now tithe no matter what. It doesn't matter how much you bring in, you need to tithe. You have to come to a place of believing that it works. And it has to work for you. If you believe it won't, then it won't. So that's how important tithing is in our life. Like I said, tithing gets us to a place of knowing that there is always more. So let's just go into that. Take a deep breath and relax. I'm going to quit talking about tithing. But before I do, I want you to say, I willingly give and generously receive. I willingly give and generously receive. I am prosperous in giving. I am prosperous in giving. I am abundant and generous. For I have all that I have, and I am willing to share what I have. Okay. So tithing, feel that. Feel what it means to you. I'm sure for a lot of us, it just brings up stuff. So the next thing I want to talk about is adding. Remember I said this whole concept is about on those 4 things. So the math idea of adding, we seem to understand that and accept that a little bit more. So what would you like to add to your life? Or what would you like to accomplish or experience? Take a moment now and think of something and be specific about what you desire. So did you come up with something, or did you go to a place of not being sure? What was it for you? Do you really know in your heart and soul what it is you want to add to your life? Often we hesitate to tell the universe what we really desire because we're not clear. We're just not clear of what it is we want. And if you don't know what you desire, how can you ask the universe to give you that? If we're not clear, it's like we keep saying, God, I'm your child. Tell me what you want for me. And God keeps replying to us, child, I'm your source. Just tell me what you desire for me to add to your life. Don't make me guess. God doesn't need to guess. It's really funny how we talk. My grandson that just turned 18, when he finished grade 12, let's say in June, July, whatever it was, he moved out to Vancouver in August. But one of the things my grandson used to always say for the last year or so, because he bought himself a little dinky car, and but then he would say, you know what? I am going to drive a Ferrari. I am going to drive a Maserati. And all of us kept thinking that someday he's going to drive a Ferrari or a Maserati. Guess what kind of job he got in Vancouver? He got a job at a dealership, a high-class dealership. And what do you think he drives? Maseratis, Ferraris, Lexuses. He tells me he drives he told me he drove a car that was worth over $1 million. I can't tell you the name because I don't remember those things. But you see, all he said is, I'm going to drive that kind of car. He didn't say, I'm going to own a Ferrari. So last night when we were talking, I said, if you really want to drive those when you get older, you need to change your language. He was so excited, he didn't care. He was driving Ferraris. Do you see how that works? And that's been only the last 6 or 7 months that he was saying that. Because we used to make a joke of the car that he bought. He bought some kind of a little car, I don't know what it is, and it had hail damage and everything, and it's so low to the ground that when he drove it out of his driveway, it kind of bounced. And we'd say, you can't drive that in the wintertime. It's not any good. He says, well, I'm not staying here for the wintertime. I'm going to Vancouver. So, and there he is. So we need to be so clear about what we say. Because if we don't say exactly what we want, it doesn't happen for us. So when I say, what do you want to add to your life? Be very clear. Because a lot of us aren't clear of what we want to add to our life. We just sort of think, oh, well, whatever. But it's not whatever. When we add to our life, we always add to the lives of the people around us. That's part of how it works. Spirit guarantees that if we trust it and follow our heart and share our love and have faith in a higher power, all things will be added unto us. All things are added unto us when we trust and are very clear about what it is that we want. So what do you desire? What do you want added to your life? Use the concept of heart math. Write down the vision that you have and the desire that you have for yourself and watch it come to fruition. Because unless Spirit knows what it is you want, it's playing a random game. So maybe have some homework today. Take time to discover, what do I want? What do I want the universe to add to my life? And it will happen. So now I want to talk about my favorite arithmetic mathematical concept, and it's multiplication. When you want to multiply something in your life, we need to go to a place of gratitude. That's how multiplication works. For gratitude is the great multiplier. Gratitude creates abundance. Gratitude creates in our life whatever we're grateful for. And I want you to understand that the universe does not judge good and bad. So when you talk about something, the universe assumes that's what you're grateful for. So what you say is very important. Because if all you do is complain to the universe creates more of that. Again, remember, the universe doesn't judge good or bad. All it knows is whatever you're talking about, that's what you're grateful for. So please pay attention to what you're saying. Gratitude is the surest way to change a negative attitude about life and open a doorway to prosperous living. When we are grateful for what we already have, the universe begins to supply more of that in our life. Gratitude increases our frequency to receive. From this higher frequency, our attitude and perception about life changes. When we vibrate at a higher frequency, we become different. With gratitude, our life will always change for the better because gratitude opens our heart to receive. Our job is to receive the gifts of Spirit and be grateful for all. For that, we can always receive more. All this can be simply put in this way. Whatever I'm grateful for manifests in my life. Whatever I'm grateful for manifests in my life. Remember that proverb, as you sow, you shall reap. If gimme, gimme is your message to the universe, then the universe will say the very same back things to you. If your message is to the universe is, what can I give? Or how can I serve? Then the message we are receiving from the universe will be the same. How may I serve you? What may I give you? The more we send out thoughts of how may I serve, then the universe responds back to us, and that's what it does for us. The more you will hear back, how may I serve you? What we give or do for others comes back to us multiplied in return. Let your prayer each morning be, what am I grateful for? And how may I bless myself and the people in my life today? Remember, the energy of gratitude causes growth. When we appreciate a person, their energy in our space expands. Stop and think about that, about your children, the people in your life, your husbands and wives, brothers and sisters. When we appreciate that person, not only do we expand, their energy expands. Try that. Show appreciation for somebody and see if you don't see them just raise a little bit better. When you appreciate your life, your energy expands. Your quality of life grows. When you appreciate with gratitude, always, whatever you appreciate with gratitude, always grows in value. So place your hand on your heart and repeat, I now understand, practice, and live the law of gratitude. I now understand, practice, and live the law of gratitude. I am grateful for what I have. Grateful for what I have. I am grateful for what I have had. I am grateful for what I have had. And I am grateful for all the things that I'm yet to receive. I'm grateful for all the things that I'm yet to receive. Thank you for improving my life. Thank you for improving my life. And so it is. See, my belief is that Spirit is right here, in this moment, within us, surrounding us, embracing us, connecting with us, and bringing abundance into our life. The more awake and aware we are to Spirit, that Spirit's presence always is within us and around us. The more joy, health, love, and abundance we will be able to experience in our lives. So let's embrace our divinity and practice the presence of Spirit in our life. So let's use those heart math concepts. Remember, subtract all the things that you don't want in your life that you're limiting. So those ideas. Divide your resources by giving back. Add vision to your life by deciding what it is you desire. And multiply your blessings by being grateful for the things that you have. And that's how heart math works. If you embrace these principles, you will always have an abundance of good in your life, and so it is. So we're going to have music now as we embrace those principles, and Juliet is going to close our service. No. And I'm going to go get some cookies. Did you plug the coffee in?
Okay, let's do the prosperity treatment. As I am
blessed with all the abundance that life has to offer, so I bless others through my giving ways. I give generously of myself, my time, and my treasures. I am a free-flowing channel for the gifts of Spirit flowing to me, through me, and from me. I live in a state of thanksgiving, and so it is.
And now, we're going to put some songs.
Okay, we're going to do a new one. We just worked on it this week, so bear with us. It's new for us. It's by Grant Raymond Barrett, and it's called I Am Wealthy, Healthy, Happy, Loved, and Rich.
I am wealthy, healthy, happy, loved, and rich. I am wealthy, healthy, happy, loved, and rich. I am wealthy, healthy, happy, loved, and rich. I am wealthy, healthy, happy, loved, and rich. I am wealthy, healthy, happy, loved, and rich. I am wealthy, healthy, happy, loved, and rich. Every morning when I wake up, I give thanks for all I have. And I know that the best and the highest always come to me. I am happy and content inside. I am a magnet for success. And the world is full of opportunity for me. I am wealthy, healthy, happy, loved, and rich. 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 Every day I am protected by a pure and healing light, bringing me success in everything that I undertake. For the talent and creative thoughts, my mind is
this day I judge with righteous judgment. I recognize the good that I am, and I see the good in others. I learn to step back from words and thoughts of criticism, and instead find ways to praise and support. I live in a state of unconditional love and acceptance of myself and others, and so it is.
I love myself. Okay. I love myself. Page 33.
Join
And you can all stand up.
and join hands.
I love myself the way I am. There's nothing I need to change. I'll always be the perfect me. There's nothing to rearrange. I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. I love you the way you are. There's nothing you need to do. When I feel the love inside myself, it's easy to love you. Behind your fears, your rage and tears, I see your shining star. And I love you just the way you are. I love the world the way it is, 'cause I can clearly see that all the things I love are done by people just like me. So till the birth of peace on earth that only love can bring, I'll help it grow by loving everything. I love myself the way I am, still I want to grow. But change outside can only come when deep inside I know I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. I love myself just the way I am.
So go within for a moment, take a deep breath, bring in spirit, or, no, just connect with spirit. See it as you see yourself, as your true self connected to Creator, living this experience right here and right now. And as you allow that to settle within your body, know that you are a representation of God. You are a creator in this experience right here and right now. And I know this to be true, and I know it to be so, and together we say,
And so
so
it
it
is.
and now
I
we
love
do our,
Yes, there's peace.
yes,
Yes,
there
there's
is
peace. And it's on page 114.
Yes, there is peace on earth, and it has begun with me. Yes, there is peace on earth.
you.
Birthday? Birthday?
Oh, I would like that.
Is there anybody that had a birthday this month? Oh,
there we
Maurice
go.
had a birthday.
had a
Okay,
birthday.
anybody else with a birthday this month? No? Maurice? Okay, let's do happy birthday for Maurice. Lucy? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Maurice. Happy birthday to you. And let's do our birthday, happy birthday waltz one too. Ready? Here we go. Happy birthday